Hello everyone, Brett Mix here for the Monday Night Wars. This is the WCW side, week 90. I archive all these reviews so you don't have to follow along with me, but anytime you want to go back and watch the Monday Night Wars, come to this channel and they'll be archived for you in different slots. So that's why these in under 10-minute reviews work for some reason. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying them, and even if you're not, do it to help me out if you feel like it. This is the 94th episode of Nitro, but the 90th week. Again, they go head to head with WWF because there were some weeks that they didn't, and I didn't count those weeks. Nitro beats Raw for the 53rd week in a row. The scores were 3.4 for Nitro, 2.5 for Raw. That's a difference of 0.9 for Nitro, winning it. So through 90 weeks in totality, Nitro in the 90 weeks WCW has faced WWF. In totality, it's 71 Nitro wins, 17 WWF losses, 2 draws. So this is the Nitro 3.4 rating that beat Raw. Shivani welcomes us to the show from Mid-South Coliseum on July the 7th, 1997 on TNT, live from Memphis, Tennessee. We opened last week's footage of Sting dropping down and everyone batting away, and then Raven hopped the guardrail and Hennig came to the ring. Both men making their first WCW appearance, and is this going to be DDP's partner? A lot of questions remain. Me and Gene opened the show at the entrance stage and welcomed Curt Hennig. He says, "I came down to Memphis to be one of the best talents and tell the world I'm a free agent." Flair then says, if he tells Curt Hennig, "Are you going to be the partner?" And Curt Hennig denies it, but doesn't directly say no. He didn't answer much to keep the suspense up, but he will be at the Bash of the Beach, but we don't know why. That's what he said. In the ring, we get going with Public Enemy, Rocco Rock, and Johnny Grunge taking on Harlem Heat, Booker T, and Stevie Ray with Sister Sherry. Sister Sherry was a very big part of this match. We'll see. Grunge, the big man with a swinging neckbreaker to Booker T. Rocco Rock hits an arm ringer once tagged and pounded away by Booker T, and Doug, he gained leverage, taking in his brother Stevie Ray, who unleashes on Rock. Stevie Ray with shots all over the Rock. Ray Royals did a double choke slam to both members of the Public Enemy after they take down Booker T. Then Vincent of the NWO and Booker T was chasing him to the back. They didn't come back in time. Sherry cost Stevie Ray the match, and Booker T waves the finger at Sherry, saying she better not do that. They rated the match to start in a quarter. After the match, Gene tries to get a word with Sherry, as Sherry accidentally knocked into Stevie Ray on the apron, costing Harlem Heat their match. Booker says it's time to get stepping, and Sherry says, "You can't fire me because I quit." And then Stevie Ray says the relationship is over. So no more Sherry in the Harlem Heat now. Next up, we got Konnan versus Joe Gomez. This was mainly about Konnan. Last week he teased joining the New World Order, and we'll see if that's the case here. When Kevin Nash jackknifed Ray, he teased being in the New World Order. Gomez drop kicked a couple times. Konnan makes Gomez tap as he tried to break his leg like Ray last week. I gave it a star. Juventud Guerrera and Hector Garza take on Los Villano 4 and 5. They work great together. However, high risk offense everywhere. Corkscrew plancha by Hector Garza for the third match in a row he's been on Nitro. Not 3 weeks in a row, but the third time in a row that he's been on. He's been a high flyer. Hoovy with a brainbuster, and then Air Hoovy with a top 450 splash from the top. Great match. I gave it 3 stars. Scott Hall and Randy Savage and Elizabeth come to the stage. They take over the table, and Savage lays down on the table. Hall says, "Do you smell something? It's because we're the stuff." Hall talks about Bash at the Beach, how he's going to team up with Hot Macho Man and take care of DDP, who he called mid-card jabroni. Hall called DDP a mid-card jabroni. Remember, this is in mid-97. Savage says Bash at the Beach is going to be NWO all the way. NWO all the way. Keep watching because Macho Man will teach them a wrestling lesson when Savage says, "When I wrestle a match later tonight." Foreshadowing something big. We get a video package of Sting and Luger proponing them for their big tag match at Bash at the Beach. A limo was pulling up and kept on going, so maybe someone is going to be in that limo. Bischoff was so good at creating suspense. on the fly, anything can happen on live TV type of production. Vince McMahon would get there, but it took time. Eddie and Chavo versus Vicious and Delicious of the NWO. That's Buff Bagwell and Scott Norton to you. Bagwell posed over and got the win. Power moves beat the aerial wrestling. Bagwell beat Chavo in the end when they made quick work. Could have been something good with Eddie and Chavo in there, but they continued their storyline as they brawled backstage even later in the night. So I give that a half a star. Then we have PARKA taking on Macho Man, a unique cruiserweight versus grizzled veteran in the heavyweight division. So you would think this is weird. PARKA doesn't seem like himself. He's not flying around everywhere. Savage came out oozing confidence. Savage had Liz and Hall rather. Randy dominated most of it. He comes to the entrance out while Macho took care of the stuff of the ring. Savage slammed him and went up for the top elbow. Savage gets the legs up by the ribs for PARKA as he came down crashing for the elbow drop attempt. Then PARKA pins Savage after a diamond cutter, and then he takes the mask off and it's DDP. It wasn't PARKA the whole time. The crowd pop like crazy and Savage is irate. Some points for this match for it being original and a good surprise. I rated it 2.5 stars. It's way higher. 2.5 stars is way higher than it actually was, but you got to give it that rating. Sort of like Mick Foley, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, 98. You got to give it a huge rating, even though it wasn't a match, really. Psychosis and Silver King versus Glacier and Ernest Miller. The teams fought to a no contest. Both teams went at it. Wrath and Mortis came out, surprise, when Glacier was out. Gave it a star and a quarter. Flair and Piper went at it in promos. Flair and Piper really got bad blood before their meeting at Bash at the Beach. They were friends till last week until they turned on each other when the Horsemen attacked Piper. So they're not going to try and be friends as Flair brought out a mannequin and then Piper stood behind him and as Flair turned around he got all spooked. Then Mike Tenay on the commentary booth spots Raven in the stands for the second straight week, and he comes out and tells him it's too big of a coincidence that you're here, and he doesn't say anything. Then Stevie Richards comes out over to the apron, over the guardrail by the front row where Raven is, and Raven, he's trying to get Raven to talk, and Raven just pounds on him, and that's where we go from there. The Horsemen, Mongo and Benoit take on the Steiner brothers. They cut backstage to Randy Savage looking for DDP as he hurt an official. Rick Steiner tried to ground Benoit, but Benoit with hard chops to Mongo. Belly-to-belly overhead suplex from Scott to Benoit. Rick Steiner runs through him and modifies spinebuster. Mongo breaks up the pin. Jeff Jarrett's thrown out of the Horsemen last week, I should say. Sullivan knocked Benoit out with a wooden chair. Rick Steiner gets the pin. I rated it 2 stars when the Horsemen took on the Steiners. So that does it for the wrestling portion of the show on Nitro. They end the show by having Bischoff come out, and as he comes out with Hogan, we're Hollywood, and they talk smack. They do their usual promo where everybody, Hollywood Hogan, talks about how Luger's got no chance, Giant's got no chance, but Dennis Rodman and him are going to rule the world, while Bischoff says, "You're too much," and then does that cocky smile we all know. Hogan is scared. The Giant and everyone in the ring as WCW comes running to the ring. Hogan gets scared of the Giant, so he stands outside of the ring and points to the Giant. And that's how we go off the air with a bunch of WCW wrestlers in the ring who have cleared the ring. And we got the leader of the NWO and world champion, Hollywood Hogan, with Eric Bischoff and other NWO members backing up down the entrance aisle, pointing at them. So no Sting to point at Hogan. Hogan this week does the other pointing to WCW from the outside, but he's a coward because he doesn't step foot in the ring, which is good character work. Quality-wise, out of 10, I rate this one. Last week I rated it 8 out of 10. The week before, 8.5. 2 of the better shows in Nitro's history. I rate this one as a 7 out of 10 because it was still good. The little PARKA DDP thing carried the show. It had big stars on it, mainly other than Sting, who wasn't there. Good variety of matches and rivalries displayed like one should be for a go-home show, the Bash at the Beach 97. So a pretty good Nitro here overall. Again, this is week 90 of the Wars, and you're doing well when you have 71 wins, and you've won 53 weeks in a row. So that's Nitro. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying my videos. I'm Brett Mix for Macho Wrestling 101, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.